Occurred the 10th of January 1973, 2000 location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, light duration, 20 minutes. Three large bright white craft were interacting and maneuvering rapidly across a quadrant of night sky. The year is 1973, and the month is October. It is around 8 p.m., clear skies and a full or nearly full moon. The location is southern central Indiana. I was attending graduate courses at Indiana University. I was a passenger in the front right seat and my children ages 4 and 5 years were in the back seat. We were returning from an afternoon in nearby Brown Company State Park, having already stopped for food. I was looking at the sky out the window to see if I could discern any constellations to point out to the children. I was startled to see three bright white large objects moving at great speed across approximately a quadrant of the sky. I asked my friend driving to pull over and stop, which he did, and we all got out to observe. The objects appeared to be at a quite high altitude but definitely within the orbit of the moon, as they several times crossed in front of the moon and were quite visible as they were much brighter. They were equal in size and appeared to be 1/6 to 1/8 the size of the moon. Their movements remained within a quadrant of the sky, exhibiting incredible speed even during right-angle turns. My son commented that they were playing tag, which was an accurate description of their movements. Several times two of the objects approached very close and began to spin about one another. This maneuver reminded me of videos I've seen of eagles who lock talons in flight and spin about each other. This activity continued for about 20 minutes, then they all departed outward towards space and within seconds were no longer visible. During this event, 2 other cars stopped to observe, so a total number of witnesses was 8. When it was over, everyone looked at each other somewhat wide-eyed, and shrugging shoulders got back in their respective vehicles and departed as well. No one spoke to each other. I didn't know any of the other witnesses and never saw any of them again.
Occurred February 21, 1977, 11:42 p.m. Location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, oval duration, approximately 7 seconds. There were 3 faint oval-shaped objects flying in apparent formation at night. While star-gazing from the parking lot of my apartment building on North Grant Street in Bloomington, Indiana, I observed 3 faint elliptical objects of less apparent visual magnitude than the star Mizar in the constellation Ursa Major. At the time of observation, I was attempting to set up my telescope to observe the Mizar visual binary star system in the handle of Ursa Major. While sighting down the length of my telescope to get an approximate aim at Mizar, I saw 3 faint gray oval objects cross the area that I was about to observe. The sighting was with the naked eye and lasted only about 7 seconds. The objects appeared to be solid oval shapes with a major axis of about a 1/4 inch at arm's length. They appeared to be in a staggered formation, one oval slightly behind and to the side of the previous oval. In addition, they seemed to not hold a tight formation but rather wandered slightly from a tight formation. The objects revealed no discernible detail to the naked eye and there was no time to track them with the telescope. There were no sound or other phenomena associated with the sighting. The heading that they traveled was approximately 285 degrees and the distance covered in the time I viewed them was approximately 85 degrees across the sky until they were lost behind trees. Altitude and size indeterminable. I have seen terrestrial light reflect from the bottom of low, night-flying birds before and this sighting was of similar luminosity. However, these objects were solid oval in shape.
Occurred the 12th of May 1999, 0000 location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, light duration, 10 to 15 seconds. Characteristics. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object light that was in a cloud bank above apartment complex. Appeared orange in the cloud, southwest stopped, moved northeast on parallel course to original, disappeared behind tree, appeared again to the south of original location. To the light appeared in the cloud bank above my apartment complex, fairly high in the sky. It moved southwest, stopped, and moved northeast on a parallel path. Then it disappeared behind a tree and appeared again to the south of the original locale. Then it disappeared totally in the clouds. I only saw one and it was orange in color, but that could have been the clouds altering the light. Shortly after I witnessed this, I did see a commercial aircraft headed north. I imagine it was bound for the Indianapolis airport. I am an employee in the local mall and am 21 years of age. I grew up just north of this town and know the area fairly well.
Occurred, the 9th of March 1999, 21:20 location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, cylinder duration, 10 seconds. Characteristics: the object left a trail, bright white cylinder moving swiftly toward the horizon. 4 witnesses saw the same thing from 3 locations at the same time. Myself and a friend, while riding bikes in a southerly direction, saw a bright white cylinder, with a slight blue tint, moving swiftly towards the horizon. When we first spotted it, it was approximately 45 degrees above the horizon. It was moving very fast, and then we lost visual contact as trees blocked our view. When we discussed it with friends later, we discovered that 2 others saw it at the same time. Both were in their cars, both were traveling south. The object was moving in a line a bit east of directly south. It moved in a straight trajectory and did not waver from its path. Again, it was moving very fast, but it was not an airplane or a meteor. It also seemed to leave a slight trail, same glowing white color as the object. I perceived it as being not close at all, but very far away.
Occurred, February 27, 2021. 15 location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, cigar duration, 10 seconds. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object. I saw an object with 4 white lights on it speed across the sky and then disappear. I am a graduate student at Indiana University. I was out taking my dogs for a walk, and my attention was drawn to the sky because there was something moving very rapidly there. At first, I thought it was a meteor, but then I noticed that there were 4, evenly spaced, seemingly artificial lights on what appeared to be the bottom of an aircraft. It was too high to make out any shape other than that of the lights, which were in a straight, narrow line, like a cigar. I didn't hear any noise. I do know that this craft was going way too fast to be any sort of conventional aircraft. I was following it very closely with my eyes as it streaked across the sky when it suddenly disappeared. It was a very clear night, so there is little chance it went behind a cloud, etc. I had just about convinced myself that I had imagined the whole thing, when I noticed about 5 planes circling the area. That's when I decided to submit a report, to see if anyone else in this area might have seen the same thing.
Occurred, the 1st of May 2001, 1700 location, Bloomington, New Unionville, between, in shape, triangle duration, 2 minutes. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. On my way home from work tonight, I saw a slow-moving triangle-shaped craft with a white light in each of the 3 wingtips. Hi folks. Well, I saw a very unusual aircraft on my way home from work tonight. From a distance, driving east on Indiana 45, I saw a bright yellow light with a white light, not as bright, next to it, on the same craft, hovering in the sky. There were tiny red lights on top, none on the belly. As I rounded a bend, between Bloomington and New Unionville, Indiana, I saw that the craft was about 50 feet above treetop and crossing the road right to left, directly overhead. I pulled off to watch and noticed other vehicles behind me had also done so. There was no noise. I rolled down my window to listen, nothing. As the craft passed over my car, I got a good look at it against night sky light pollution. From Bloomington, it was triangle-shaped, with a white light in each of the 3 wingtips and appeared to be black in color. A mile or so down the road, the snow looked blown across the road like drifting. The rest of the roadway was clear. I thought, copter, at first, until I saw the thing. Not like any I had ever seen. It seemed like when motorists had pulled off to watch it flew away.
Occurred, the 9th of February 2001, 2:58 location, Bloomington, Indiana. Shape, oval duration, 2 hours. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. 7 crafts flashing, in Orion's Belt CONSTALATION formation. Oval-shaped discs, with flashing lights going around the outside. The crafts are shaped into the constellation of Orion, but that doesn't come out till winter, so I know it couldn't be the stars. The crafts are all blinking with white, red and green lights going around. 3 of the crafts are stacked in a row, one on top of each other. They are about a thumb apart from top to bottom. Clear night on the U campus, on the outskirts of campus, so not much light filtering through. Very strange, it looks like they are just staying in the same place.